Hello, welcome. I'm over here, the microphone, the headset. This is a video about recording audio like an MP3 file in such a way that when you upload it to ACX, there are no issues, no problems. It doesn't get rejected, none of that. So I'm calling this video No ACX Audio Issues. And if you follow this and have a similar setup, you should be fine, because it can be annoying to have to repeat your chapters over and over. In other words, that's the goal. You want to get it up there, got some art or not, and you want it worldwide, and you want it for sale, and it only took you whatever that took, a couple of weeks. It's on Audible, it's on Amazon, it's on iTunes. So with that, I won't talk about microphones, headsets, and all the details, but in part one, I will show you all the pieces that you need to have in place. And in part two, I will walk you through the Audacity, which is something you download to record or just to clean up your previously recordings. So I'll be quiet now and try to get out of the way here and start the first part. Okay, here we are on the ACX. I guess it's your home page when you're logged in. I'm not sure what to call it. But you can see my book here. Went through the whole process, and this is what one of your end results that you're looking for is that it will be available for sale, and they tell you when you submitted it and the on sale date and all that jazz. But if you look back, you really want to see no issues found in uploaded files. So we might come back to this in a second. Let's see. But ultimately, the ultimate goal is this, where you can sell your book. Because you can see here, I've got a Kindle one, then I had a paperback one, and now I got the audio book. And the steps I'm going to go over here for how to get your audio files up to ACX has been repeatable for me. You also see a little Audible sample right there. Now, I did it all in this case. I'm the narrator, author, illustrator. Just, I don't know. I just wanted to go through the process. I don't expect to have anything great or profitable come out of this other than the learning itself. So let me go ahead with these steps here. And this is, in case this needs to be dated, this is Wednesday, February 9, 2022. And I guess the title for this video could be No ACX Audio Issues. And like I say, it's repeatable. I tried a lot of things, and it's not an easy thing to do. Making a video is far easier for me. So basically it breaks down to what I think are 9 steps. The previous video, which I'll probably delete at some point, had 10 steps. One of those steps you do not need because that's included in the macro. And so step 1 is whatever platform you're on, you need to go get this, Audacity. At first I didn't like it because it looks really old. It's got an outdated user interface there, as you can see. I guess they try to make it better with the colors and stuff. And that's fine, but it's on GitHub and it works, so it's an open source project. Now, let's see. Next, I should have had, and I'll just poke it in here, even though it's not in the notes. I did take this class from this guy on Udemy. His class is called ACX Audiobook Production Using Audacity, and that's all he talks about. But he goes over everything in terms of the plugins and how to edit and all kinds of stuff. But for me, I would want something that I could quickly get done, like a quick start kind of thing, and is repeatable. And you have a basic understanding. I mean, this is just talking. But he has 20 lectures, 1.5 hours of videos, and that's a little hard to go back and refresh. Plus, there's no guarantee it'll be there in the future. So that's one reason I'm making this video. So we would have downloaded and installed Audacity just to review. And then once that's done, maybe play around for a while with it, get used to it, how to record, stop, rewind, you know, all that, playback, all that. There's a few settings you should make. Then you're going to want to go find these plugins. Oddly, one of them is in a forum, an Audacity forum. It's called Declicker and De-esser. I just got Declicker, as you can see it right here. I hope the little hand comes up. And you need that one if you make popping sounds, which most people do. And this is the one that's really key. This avoids that whole a loop you get into where you record an audio and you send it up to ACX and they go, well, it's not right. For one of these reasons listed here, peak level, RMS level, noise floor, which is just your background noise. But you'll need that plugin. And I forgot to show you, but this is the video I'm recording, re-recording. So that's cool. So I'm going to end this part right here because now I need to go over and actually do this in Audacity and kind of walk you through it. Here we are in what I guess I would call part 2 of this video. And we're going to go through the 6 steps that you repeat every time you record a chapter for your book. And if you were just to use Audacity or some other recording, you might end up with not stereo. What you're seeing here is stereo. You see two what looks like 2 tracks that look exactly the same. So a little tip here, since you really just want to upload a mono recording to ACX for your book, unless you have sound effects or music or something, then you go here you click on the let's see what they call that. It's right near where you close it, the name of the track. There's a drop down and you go split stereo to mono. That makes it actually 2 separate tracks. And then you just get rid of one of them because if you're just talking, they're exactly alike. So now here we pretend that this is a recording. This is actually the first part of this video, but we'll pretend you've recorded your chapter from a book, making sure, not like this is, but making sure you have 1 second at the beginning and at least 1 second at the end of just what they call floor noise or background noise. So I'm obviously got it incorrect here, but you'd want to make sure, because that's a test that's not a part of Audacity, but is a part of ACX when you upload it. So we're going to first, we've recorded, we stopped, we rewound, we're pretending we did all that. What we're doing now is hovering over, you see the hand come up there, hovering over the title of this track. And then when you click, you'll select it. You'll see it all get highlighted there. It's all highlighted. And now we're going to go. This is just a quick recap of these 6 steps, by the way. We're going to go to Tools. And we're going to go to Macro. I called it ACX Udemy. You might call it something else. I'm going to let this go for a little bit. And the part that runs the longest is that plugin called Declicker that we would have added in the first 3 steps that you only do once. Unfortunately, this is going to take a while. And I'll click on the places where you would add these things really quickly after we're done with this part. So 12 seconds, 11 seconds. So if your chapter is really long, this Declicker could run for a while. And you might notice that you don't need it. Maybe you've got, well, here we are. Maybe you've got a great voice and you've got a great sound room, or I don't know. You've got great stuff and you just don't need that to do that because all the rest of it runs pretty quickly. That is in the macro. So we did it, we ran it, and the part that we're after here, one of the plugins we downloaded was called ACX Check. And you can see that we pass, which is what you want. So it's pretty quiet in this room today. This room does not have enough cloth. It has sharp edges and things sound my voice is bouncing off of. But it still passed the test right there. That noise floor is the background. That's below what they want, so that's good. And at this point, we would say yay, and we click OK. And we want to go up here to File, Export. Export is MP3 because that's what you want to upload to ACX. I'm going to call this, since I already have one of them, I'm going to call this Clean 2. And I'm putting it in some folder. You're going to want to pay attention so you can find it. Here at File Type, you want to make sure it's MP3. And under these format options, you definitely want them set as indicated there. Bitrate mode should be constant. Quality should be at least 192 kbps, kilobits per second. I just stick with 192. Channel mode, we're going to force this to export to mono, even though it is mono. So I don't know. I had success doing this, so I think it's fine. It sounds okay. I'm not a narrator, so if you were, you would obviously sound much better. So we're going to click Save, and then this pops up over here with all this metadata you could enter in your file, but I have not done that at all, ever, and it worked fine. So click OK, and it kind of reruns it a little bit again. And at this point, you are ready to go back to your ACX project in your browser or however, and then upload that particular chapter or opening credits or closing credits or retail audio sample. Upload it and wait to see if it says or what it says under audio analysis. So, okay, that's the 6 steps you repeat. Record, highlight the track, select it all, run the macro on it, make sure everything passes, export as MP3 file with all the settings correct, and then upload that to ACX and keep your fingers crossed. But here at the end, I'll have a little bonus bit. So one thing I noticed when I first got Audacity is this echo and reverb you hear in your ear as you're recording when you use it for recording. This is what you want to uncheck right here in Preferences, Recording. It says Software Playback of Input. I just turn it off. I either don't listen to me as I record or I do it another way through my microphone. And underneath Quality, you're going to want to make sure this says 44,100 hertz. I don't think any of the rest of these are all the defaults, so you're good to go. Now, if we recall in our first 3 steps, we were adding stuff in here to Audacity. Like here is where you manage your plugins. You can see ACX check there is enabled and has been uploaded. And down here somewhere is declicker. So that's the 2 we needed. And somewhere should be my macro. Those are plugins, so I guess that's not where you do that. Here we go. You just click on macros, and there it is. I called mine ACX Udemy, and then you can see what's inside it. They show it to you as commands that are going to be run sequentially. Like it runs filter curve, equalizer, it runs a compressor. It runs the loudness normalization, which helps me a lot because my voice varies and I'm soft, rather soft compared to other people. It runs a limiter so you don't have any spikes when you do get all excited and say something loudly. Then there's the 2 plugins that we added to Audacity, the declicker, which it runs, and then the last thing it ran was the ACX check, which is really, really, really helpful since you don't want to go through this process over and over again, especially if you got long chapters. So that is it for the steps and the screen capture, and I'll be back with the ending here in a second. Okay, I'm back, I think. Yes. And we made it all the way through this time. All the pieces are glued together, I believe. Hopefully this is helpful. If you have any questions or some parts that weren't too clear, I would be happy to either re-comment to you and explain it, or make another tiny video that focuses in on that one area you're having trouble with. But for me, this has been repeatable every time. And you can see you got the nice little test in there before you get it all the way up to ACX. But just a reminder, this is your goal, and proof that it works is that you can go through this process and your title will be available for sale. Of course, the easier way to do this is to not do any of this, but to find yourself a professional narrator and get them to do it for you. Plus, it most likely will sound better. So with that, I hope this is helpful to someone. And with that, I will say peace.